everyone, and welcome to the Louisiana Farm to Early Care and Education Teachers Training video. My name is Haley Holton, and I am the Program Manager at New Orleans Food Policy Action Council. Today, I will go over the responsibilities and expectations for teachers and staff at your early care center. Each month, I will provide technical assistance at your center. This will happen between 9 and 11 a.m. on a specific day of the week that the center director and I will determine. Technical assistance can include helping with the garden, doing a classroom activity, or addressing any other concerns you may have. You'll be sent all of the modules on September 1st, and I'll provide a suggested order for these modules based on what local procurement is likely to be available during that time. You do not have to do the modules in any particular order. However, we would like to try to match up the fruits and vegetables that are growing and are available in our area with the modules at the time. So again, we will create a suggested list, but you can do this in any order that you wish. The goal is to participate in at least one activity per month. Each module contains multiple in-class activities, a suggested reading list, taste test recipes, cafeteria recipes, gardening tips, and information that can be sent home to families. Here's an example of a module. This module covers melon. Let's take a deeper look into the information that you'll find in each module. First, you see a poster here that can be hung in your classroom. This is part of the Seeds to Success program, and we are encouraging each center director to sign up for this program. If your center signs up for the program, you will receive large versions of this poster, as well as some stickers for taste tests and other fun resources. This is not a responsibility on the teachers. The center director can sign up for this program if they wish. If you would like to print this poster out for your classroom in the meantime, feel free to do that. As I stated earlier, each module has multiple in-class activities. So for example, here's a watermelon sensory bag activity. There is a supplies list on each activity along with instructions. If you would like more in-depth information on an activity, you can look at this QR code right here, and it will link you to the original source if it has one. So all you have to do is open your phone's camera app and place it over the QR code as if you're about to take a picture, and a link will pop up that you can click on and go to that if you wish to. Classroom activities are a fun way for students to learn more about a fruit or vegetable. I suggest that you review the activity supply list prior to the day that you plan to do the activity. That way, if you need to order supplies, you can. When building this curriculum, I tried to stick to classroom materials for the most part that are readily available, such as paper, markers, crayons, etc. But you may have to order some supplies for some of the activities. Let's take a look at this next activity called Watermelon Match. This is a great example of an activity that can be modified if needed. The supplies are fairly basic. It includes a paper printout that is provided right here below, as well as scissors and crayons or markers. So those are all of the supplies needed. However, you can modify this activity if you do not have the ability to print or if you do not have access to colored paper. If you do have the ability to print, you can just print one copy per student of this template right here, and then follow the instructions. If you do not have the ability to print, you can draw triangles on a piece of red or white paper and cut them out, and then you can also cut shapes that look like the watermelon rind from either green or white paper. If you use white paper, students can color the pieces red and green, and from there you would follow the same instructions. This curriculum can be used as is, but can also be modified to your own needs or desires. We do not want this to feel restrictive at all. These activities are simply suggestions, and so please do whatever works for your classroom and modify as needed. Let's scroll down to the reading list next. So here's some more activities, and then this is a coloring page, but here is the reading list. This is a short list of books that we think students may enjoy that relate to a specific fruit or vegetable in the module. Books can be read as is as a standalone activity, or you can read the book alongside doing another activity. So that's up to you. We just think it's fun to read a book and do an activity, but again, if you only have time to read a book, feel free to read a book, or if you find books that aren't on this list but that relate to the topic, that is fine as well. We would love to hear if you have any book suggestions for us. Let's keep scrolling down here. The next section here is recipes for taste tests. Taste tests are such a fun way to engage students. They are able to learn about a fruit or vegetable while also trying the fruit or vegetable in multiple different ways. I also think it's fun for staff to be able to participate in a taste test. Who doesn't love a taste test? So I recommend planning a taste test at least a week in advance. That way you can let your cafeteria staff know what foods you need ordered ahead of time. Each module has at least 4 taste test suggestions, but please feel free to, again, modify or create your own based on your classroom's wants or needs, as well as your own. But there are at least 4 suggestions per module. If we continue scrolling down here, after we get past the activities and taste tests, you'll see a sheet that says activity feedback with a large QR code on it. This is really important. Each month you will need to fill out this form. So we're gonna take a look at what this form will look like. Here's what it looks like. You'll choose your center name. So we're gonna pretend for this example that we're St. Paul. And then you'll scroll down here to pick which module you participated in that month. So we'll say we did melon, and then you'll continue. And it's just gonna ask if you did the activity or not. It's totally okay if you didn't. We just want some feedback. So did we complete watermelon sensory bags? No. Did we complete the watermelon match lesson? Let's say yes. And walk through this process. So questions will generate then, and it'll ask us what the date was that we participated in the lesson. If you can't remember exactly, that's okay. Try to estimate best to your ability. Who was the instructor? You'll write whatever teacher's name was, how many students were in the classroom during that activity. Again, if you have to guesstimate or just tell your classroom size for that month, that's okay. About how long the activity took. So this is to help us build out more lessons. So please try to be as accurate as you can about this, but it's, again, okay to estimate. So we'll say 15 minutes. How would we rate the lesson content? Poor to excellent. We'll rate it a 4. How engaged were students? I would recommend this for the future. And then, did you experience any barriers or issues in completing this lesson? This one's important. If you experienced any issues, please click yes, and then this will generate you here so you can list out or describe any issues that you had with this lesson. So we can say, for example, lesson was too hard for my students, or we could say the lesson took too long, or I could not get materials for this lesson easily, etc. So if you have any issues whatsoever, we would love to know that, and then you would click next, and it'll ask if there's any additional comments or suggestions for the future. And so you can say, maybe I would like to see a different activity that maybe includes easier instructions or something like that. Any positive or negative feedback is welcome. We just appreciate any feedback that you have so we can continue to build out our modules. And then it'll bring you to the next lesson. So did we complete this one? No. Next. And then did we complete this one? Again, you would say yes or no, and just continue to go through that. It will do this for the activities and taste tests. So that is what this looks like. Same type of questions here for the taste test as well. So if we say yes, it's going to bring up the same questions, and you will just complete that as is. This should not take more than 20 minutes to complete, but it is really important that you do this each month. So please make sure that you do that by the 30th of each month. So we just went over this. It'll help us make any adjustments to the curriculum and add new content. Again, we cannot create an appropriate curriculum for your school without any feedback from you. Okay, continuing on in the module, we're going to go back to that. Sorry. We'll go back to the module. And you'll see cafeteria recipes. These are all suggestions which I will be giving to the cafeteria staff, so you don't have to use this section unless you would like to bring some ideas home with you or generate some more ideas for taste tests. But let's keep going on down to the gardening section. If a fruit or vegetable can be grown in New Orleans climate, there are tips here on how much sun and water is needed, as well as how to plant the specific fruit or vegetable and when to plant them. So this is just a brief overview with little tips, but you can scan this QR code if you want a full overview of how to plant whatever fruit or vegetable this module covers. We use information through the LSU Ag Center, which is a really phenomenal resource. So please look at these if you want to plant with your students. This will give you all the information that you need to know at a glimpse to just get things in the garden. But if you want to know more ins and outs, again, scan that QR code and you can read up on each fruit or vegetable. Down here is a quick guide. So this lists off different fruits and vegetables and tells you kind of the time frame that's good to plant them and how far apart to plant the seeds or plant starts. So again, just more quick, good information to have. If we scroll down more right here, you'll see a newsletter that can be used as information to yourself, but also can be sent home to families. So this is a great flyer of information to print out and send home with students after you're learning about a specific fruit or vegetable. And if you keep scrolling down here, there's also more recipe suggestions that can be taken home. So these were developed as at-home recipes through the Seeds to Success program, and we really love them, so we included them on here. You can print these out and send them home to families for them to enjoy. This is a great way to engage families and hopefully create excitement around the program at home as well as in the center. And that brings us to the end of our module. So we're gonna go back to the slideshow here. I would like to reiterate that these modules are here to guide you and are not here to cause a burden on you. If you're struggling to implement the program, please set up a meeting with me and we can figure out a way to make this easier for you. You can find my Calendly information here, or you can reach out through email, text, or phone call. Calendly will create a Zoom meeting, and to do this, all you need to do is click this link and then click on a date and time that works for you and me. So this is my schedule of availability right here. So say you want to meet with me on Wednesday the 7th, you would click there, and here pulls up all of the times that I'm available that day. So you could click next, and then you will fill out your name, email, and then click schedule event, and it will add it to my calendar as well as your own. And so this just generates a Zoom meeting. If you would like a face-to-face meeting, I can also come in person, but this is my calendar availability. So please, again, utilize this if you need it. And if not, you can text, call, or email, but please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for listening to this training, and I'm looking forward to working with you this school year.